folks, JD and Max here, and today we're in the historic Skirrid Inn in Abergavenny, South Wales. So tonight we're staying here. We're in room 1, which is on the first floor upstairs. We'll take you and show you that room a little bit later. Right now we are sitting here. We've been allowed access to sit here when the pub closes mid-afternoon, which we are very thankful for, so thank you very much Skirrid Inn for letting us do that. And we're just taking in the place, and my god, it's so beautiful. From the gigantic stone fireplace to my left, to the absolutely mesmerisingly beautiful wooden beams, to the very uneven stone floors and the very uneven wooden staircase going up the stairs. Everything about this place is just magical. I don't think it was magical, 400 or 500 years ago, but still, each their own, right? But still, in 2025, this place is absolutely beautiful. Now, one of us is a direct descendant of the judge that used to preside in the courtroom up here. One of us is a direct descendant of Judge George Jeffreys. See which one a little bit later on. Okay, let's hand over to this gentleman who's going to tell you a bit more about this place.
The Skirrid Inn is the oldest pub in Wales, so it claims, and it was built on this site around the 12th century, so 1100s we're talking. And there's always been, or since then, there has been a building on this site. Whether or not it was a pub or an inn is, up for debate. But certainly the site was used since the 12th century. One of the most famous ghosts here at the Skirrid Inn is that of Judge George Jeffreys, and he was known as the hanging judge. And the reason for that was, as you would imagine, he hung lots and lots of people. So here in the Skirrid, there is said to be 183 executions that took place. I'll come and show you where they must have taken place now. So you can see the beam behind me is called the hanging beam, and although it's here at the bottom of the stairs now, it did used to be right at the top. And again, we still have this noose, which is where the noose used to be. And if we go all the way up there, we can see where that hanging beam once was. Judge John Jeffreys was a bit of a nasty character, so history says, and he was presiding over here during the Monmouth Rebellion of the 1600s. And that's where the Duke of Monmouthshire attempted to dethrone King James II. So that revolution failed massively, and lots of the people that were part of it were tried and convicted here and thus hanged just in the stairwell out there where the noose still is, which you can just see here. But Judge Jeffreys in particular holds a special interest to us, and me especially, because it turns out I am his 14th great nephew. So fingers crossed we are able to use some family blood to stir up the spirits tonight, and fingers crossed we get spooked. One of the other famous ghosts of the Skirrid Inn is that of Fanny Price, who was the landlady, and she was said to have passed away from consumption at the age of around 28, and her ghost is said to haunt the area, particularly the upstairs, which we'll show you in a bit. She is said to walk across the corridor with her dresses rustling and the smell of lavender perfume. Particularly room 2 is her favourite haunt of the inn, but we're not staying in room 2, we're in room 1.
The Skirrid Mountain Inn closes midday for a few hours, and Max and I were allowed to film around it. So these next few clips are me going upstairs and showing you around our room, including the bathroom, which is down some steps. And that bathroom, albeit now is a bathroom, back when the Skirrid was a courtroom, that was a prison cell. So you could just imagine how horrible it must have been there at the time. What I really want you to listen for in these next few clips is the Skirrid talking to us. The creaks, the bangs, the cracks of us just walking round. It is absolutely magical, and I think it has a lot to tell us if we just listen. So I'm going to show you the room as we would have walked in through the front, through the door. So this is our door to room number 1. Then you have this little sort of like vestibule area with this very nice room. It's very dark here. Let's put some infrared on. With this lovely old wardrobe here. Looks really nice. Nothing on top. No, not even wood. Lovely mirror. The side there as well. Hello. Infrared. Off. And then we have the main room. So we have fireplace. Really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Lovely stone. Can you see? No, that is actually blocked off, which is a shame. But there you go. There's a little ventilation shaft up there as well. I can see right there, little ventilation grid. Coming over here, TV, beautiful. Then heading into the bathroom, which is incredible. I love quirky little places, and this is quirky. Down the 4 stairs, get into the bathroom. Job done, look at that. Great. And then back up the steps onto the little landing, which overlooks some trees actually, and the rest of the Skirrid. And then up on this little landing area here. And then just before we go, look at those beams. And then through we go back into the bedroom. Tea, coffee, fantastic. Love having a kettle in here. Both myself and Max really appreciate that. Little area I was just talking to you on. And then the 4-poster bed. Now the 4-poster bed is beautiful. Look at this. Look at the history in this. Obviously don't know an age. Looks quite old. Wouldn't like to speculate. But it is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And I'm glad they haven't got curtains. That's one thing I don't like. I don't like to feel hemmed in. So I'm really glad it's an open 4-poster. But look at that headboard. Isn't that incredible? And then of course 2 bedside tables with 2 lamps, which is lovely. And then we have the windows here. None of them open. Even, oh, one of them opens, look. This one opens here, but it's closed, and that's how it's going to stay. And this one here, I guess opens as well. Nope. Nope. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, that does open. You can see the bottom there, but it's not. So that's lovely. So that's, let me check the other windows actually in the bathroom. I didn't check if they opened as well or not. Because I want to try and rule out any sort of breeze. That opens, but it's closed. That opens as well, but it's closed. Okay, good. Let's go down here and look at these, and I guess these down here is going to be exactly the same. I guess these are going to be, let's put some light on the subject. So we've got, again, that one opens, but it's closed and locked. That one doesn't. Yeah, and those don't open either. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows that open in here, but none that actually are. And then the door doesn't close on its own. Good. Right. Beautiful. But I think the number one thing for me in here is the floorboards. My God, the floorboards sound incredible as you're walking across it. That. So uneven as well. The plan for tonight is this. We're going to set up some experiments. So I've brought every camera that we have. We've brought our cat balls. We've brought the EVPs. We've brought the EMFs. We've kind of gone all out. Usually, based on where we are, we'd either bring 1 or 2. But I've kind of brought everything. So because we both really want to see exactly what's going to happen, if anything. Now, every single thing that we're going to set up is going to have a camera of some sort focused on it and be recording. And then when Max and I are downstairs, when all the recording starts up here, when we're away from the room completely, then we'll see if we get anything. Hopefully, we can't explain it. But as always, as with all of our videos, we will go through and try and debunk it as we go along. So we're not going to open any windows. We're going to leave everything shut so there's no breezes or anything at all. And currently, I mean, this is the middle of July, so I don't know exactly how many breezes you would get, but there isn't a breeze at all in here. Oh, I've even brought a temperature gauge as well, so you can see any temperature fluctuations. So try to think of everything. So hopefully we're going to get something good. So we've got 3 infrared cameras with us today. The one that I'm talking currently now has an infrared mode. I have a Sony, which is underneath this one, that also has an infrared mode, and we also have a generic third party, which also has infrared as well. So we're really going to try and see exactly if we can get everything. As well as us doing all of this, we're also going to be heading over, once the night falls, we're going to be hitting up our infrared cameras and going over and seeing if we can find the Price family graves over in the cemetery, which is a little way down the road, but we'll take you down there a little bit later on. Let's get going. I've just set up a GoPro here. Going to capture the room, the bathroom, everything in 4K. Max and I are downstairs, having a drink and having something to eat. Let's see if we get anything. Nice little beer.
Cheers.
Cheers indeed. Right. What is it you're expecting to get out of this, if anything at all?
I don't know what I'm expecting. I would be grateful for anything to happen.
Ooh, damn.
It's good, isn't it?
It's nice, huh?
Yeah, I'd really like anything to happen. I really hope that we get to communicate the spirit of Judge Jeffreys for obvious reasons.
Your uncle.
My, great uncle.
Great uncle. I was thinking grand uncle.
Grand uncle, yeah, similar kind of thing. He was very grand.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that would be really interesting. But again, like a lot of places, Skirrid is one of those places where it's not, like, there's no definitive evidence of him being here. It's highly likely that he was because of
the hangings
and
what
the
he
works
did.
the works that he was doing at the time.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things that's sort of been lost to folklore in terms of confirmation. But that kind of makes it a bit more fun, doesn't it? When you don't have,
it does.
You know, the exact confirmation. It's the same with the Owain Glyndŵr sort of legends behind this place. There's no evidence of it, but it's likely, given the facts that, you know, that there was, or that it did happen in this area.
Yeah.
Because we know it happened in the area.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I think it's nice and easy, isn't it, to say that you want to get something which is going to trigger the EMF or trigger anything else. But I think, to be perfectly honest with you, even if we don't get anything, you know, it's still worthwhile. It's such a wonderful place.
It's such a historical place.
It really is, and the people we've met today have been great.
Yeah.
And the barman said he's going to give us an interview a little bit later on, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
And no, I think it's just a wonderful place. Whether or not we see anything in where we're staying, our room is right above us.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's right above us.
Yeah.
And in room number 1, and you know, I guess it's easy to say I want everything to trip, you know. But to be honest with you, I'd much rather us be sort of dangled with a carrot.
Yeah, that would
and sort of maybe have one thing, like we had up in Albury Court Estate, where we had the anomaly on the SLS. I went near it and it buggered off, and it never came back.
Yeah.
And then, like we've had in Gloucester Prison, we had lots of little things which, when you look at the video series as a whole, it looks fantastic. But when you boil it down to what we actually saw and what we actually experienced and how big that site is, it's like a teaspoonful, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, of stuff. And to be honest with you, I would much rather, excuse me, pocket catcher, I would much rather sort of have a place that we come back to 3, 4, 5 times and it just dangles that carrot for us.
Yeah, it's that sort of place, isn't it? We want it to make us feel like we want to keep coming back, don't we?
Yeah.
So it's maybe if this place doesn't like us at all, we won't get anything, or maybe we'll get loads of stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
And
but likewise, we're going back to Gloucester Prison for series 2, you know, and that place, because of what we experienced, and because it was a little carrot dangling in front of our face, it makes us want to go, oh, do you know what, I want to go back, I want to do that again. And I want the same thing to happen here. Just dangle a carrot in front of our face, enough for us to go, oh yeah, do you know what, let's go back again and again.
Yeah, that place is interesting, let's go back.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
And of course we've read some of the address books as well at the time that we've been here. Bogey Catcher again.
The visitor book, isn't it?
The visitor book, and it's really interesting to see what's happened in what people say has happened in room one.
Yeah, and there's consistent stuff like between those books, between the internet, YouTube, famous documentaries, things that happened. There's a pattern.
There is definitely a pattern.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what we get or what we don't get.
Yeah.
Either one. I mean, I've been back in the room now a few times. We've recorded ourselves and we've done it, and I don't know if anything has moved.
Yeah, no, not a clue.
Or if it hasn't.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything did.
No.
But you never know. And again, even if something was in there, would we have been able to catch it? It's all those. Or it's another set of questions altogether then, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it is.
What is quantifiable experience? What is things that we can document? There could be a ghost up there right now dancing the hula, and we may not be able to get it on camera or anything.
But at least we've got, 2 infrared cameras going, 3 infrared cameras going up there at the minute. We've got another 2 to bring in later on tonight that are DVD recordings. They'll record for 30 minutes then turn off.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few things going on up there. But yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what we get, if anything. We couldn't have come here with any more things.
Oh, definitely.
We've come here with the right gamut of everything, and we've done 10 minutes of 5 to 7 minutes of, and we've done 5 to 7 minutes of Spirit Box and FM, 5 to 7 minutes Spirit Box and AM.
Yeah.
We've got cameras, recording cameras in case something is seen.
Yeah.
We've got SLS cameras, we've got static cameras, we've got great big film cameras.
Yeah.
We've got digital cameras, we've tried everything, haven't we? So, but then again, it is only one room.
Yeah, it's true, but we've got to make the most of that one room as much as we can, haven't we? I'd be really interested to get the Ouija cloth out with the pendulum, I think.
We'll do that a bit later.
Yeah, I feel like tonight that would be a really interesting thing to do.
Yeah, let's do that.
But I've got to say, I said to the bartender in here, I'm really surprised how busy it is on a Wednesday evening, and that's a really good thing.
Do you think that's because of the name more than anything else, or do you think it's because people want to subconsciously see something, or do you think that's just because they want to come out on a Wednesday and have a pint?
Well, there's definitely...
'Cause that's what we're doing.
Definitely. There's a big section of people here that have obviously come in after work and that sort of thing. We've got another room, say, next to us. We've got... there was another couple that were ordering when I was at the bar that were not from around here. And
there's another YouTuber as well. See if we can get in touch with them and see if we can help each other out or something.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's lots of houses around here. I'm surprised at how built up this area actually is.
Yeah.
So obviously you might have people that every single night they come in for a drink or two, or maybe you get something to eat, because the food was great.
The food was really good.
What did you have?
I had a veggie burger.
Spicy bean burger.
Spicy bean burger.
With chips. Really, I had, what did I have? A quarter pound beef burger with chips and bacon. Oof. And it had onion rings on the top of the burger with fries at the side. My God, it was good, genuinely good. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm after, is it's something to dangle the carrot, enough for us to go, do you know what, that was really interesting, let's go back again.
Yeah, the people that were here that we were speaking to earlier, they were from the Rhondda Valley, and they've come over after coming here to play darts before, and they're just here.
Oh yeah, they were really cool.
Yeah, they were really nice.
Yeah, they were really nice. Yeah, they were reading the visitor book as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just to have a nice meal and come out, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's it's a really nice place to do that. I did see a couple of weeks ago they were filming here the BBC series, I think.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, Alexander Armstrong was here. They're doing like a pub tour
of
the UK or something.
Nice.
And it's a really nice pub with really cool history.
Oh yeah.
One legend in particular, which this couple were also discussing, which was the Christmas meal of the nobleman. And what happened was, a nobleman, William de... I don't know it. He set up a meal. His uncle had just been murdered by some Welsh nobleman, but he wanted to make a peaceful resolution, invited them all to the Skirrid for Christmas dinner.
Oh yes, that's right.
And during the dinner, they went red wedding style and butchered everyone.
What's Red Wedding?
Oh, from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, they so they ambushed everyone and murdered them all. Now that did actually happen, but it did actually happen in Abergavenny Castle. It didn't happen in the Skirrid, which again is a shame, but it's the way that folklore works. It all sort of
twists and turns,
mingles together.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's what makes it interesting. When you try and you do something like this, you stay over somewhere, and then you pick it apart bit by bit. And you think to yourself, right, okay, what's where, what's what? And then the more research you do, actually this took place there, or there's more of a possibility it took place there rather than here. Yeah. But here has got enough, I think, when you've hung 180 people, by the neck until they're dead in one place. I think that sort of, makes it a bit sort of...
A bit sort of special.
Yeah, it does, and especially looking over at Skirrid Fawr. That's such a wonderful... lovely place. See if we can get close to that tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's kind of it really. It's just be nice to get something, but enough to make you think, oh yeah, I'm going to go back, rather than, oh, do you know what, I think we've had our fill there, on to the next one.
A little taste, a little appetizer.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I want from everywhere. I think it's just enough to sort of think, yeah, enough to go back. Right, okay, so off we venture to the cemetery. So what's in the cemetery, Max?
So the cemetery obviously has lots of gravestones. It is said to have the gravestones of Fanny Price and her family. So that's what we're going to go and see.
And they were the old
landlords and ladies of the house. As we said before, Fanny Price passed away of consumption at the age of 28.
Wow, she was young.
Yeah, really young. But she apparently still haunts the Skirrid. She's seen mostly in room 2 and in the corridor just outside, which also goes just outside our room.
Okay. Oh, what, room number 1? Room
number 1, yeah.
Wow.
So all sort of in that area. But she haunts with, particularly people have heard, ghostly rustles and the smell of lavender.
Ghostly rustles and the smell of lavender.
Yes.
Well, I'll have to go with your nasal canal for the smell of lavender. Right, how about we do this methodically?
Yes.
You take the left-hand side, as you're there, and I'll take the right.
Beautiful, I'll give you a shout.
And what is it, Price?
Price.
Okay, Price.
Let's think again, this curbstone would be containing a coffin, and even though the ground will sink inwards, the length of it kind of goes to show.
Where can I walk, Max?
Straight down here.
Straight down here?
Yeah. But I was...
An ex-undertaker knows these things.
I was saying to the camera, the ones up there, the headstones will have moved, or they will have moved the headstones and not the graves themselves.
Oh, will they have?
So they'll have all changed, probably.
Oh, no way.
But here we go. This is the grave of Fanny Price.
That's Fanny Price.
Again, we can see the people have left little things, which is nice.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Yeah, Henry Price of the Skirrid Mountain Inn as well, it says there.
That's really lovely.
He died in 1891, so yeah, about 20 years later. That's Alice and Benjamin Price.
Wow.
But what a lovely place to rest with the Skirrid right there.
Beautiful.
And that way, again, is all fields and farmland.
Yeah, it's lovely. Well, I would say that's a pretty successful hunt.
Absolutely. Ask the Undertaker.
Yeah, ask the Undertaker.
That's me.
Right, okay, back to the Skirrid. Alright folks, so now we've set up everything to go into infrared. Time is 20 minutes past 7. Great, so here's what we've done. SLS is set up as standard. You can see it there working. We've also set up over here another infrared camera here, which has got roughly about an hour and a half's worth of recording. And also, if we come around here, just there, we have another camera set up as well, which is all set up infrared recording, and that's got about 3 hours on it. And then we've got the standard cat balls at the bottom here. You can just see those 2 cameras either side have unfortunately died. One EMF pod is there, the other EMF pod is in the doorway right there. So with that, without disturbing these too much, and without disturbing this thing too much, which is there, so follow my... Yep. Have you got the keys?
Yeah. Yes, I've got a key.
Key? Right.
Okay.
Let's go. On we go again. Oh, that's weird. Okay, room shut to our bedroom. Got to watch where we go. And down we go. Okay. Let's switch out of night vision and onward. So what are we now? We are 25 to 9 and now we've got everything recording upstairs, infrared this time. So we can try and hopefully grab something. We've got a green infrared spectrum and we've got the black and white infrared spectrum. And we're trying to see if we can catch anything there. We've left everything the same, the cat balls the same. And yeah, again, just keeping our fingers crossed that while we're down here and the room is empty, that we get something.
Definitely, we've heard some really interesting stories so far from just people at the bar as we've been buying drinks and things.
Yeah.
So if none of those stories come out a bit later, I will tell you about them.
Yeah, because when we go back in a minute, hopefully, we're hoping, we know the barman wants to do an interview later, but we're hoping that a couple of other people might want to come forward and be like, hey, do you know what? My great aunt saw this. Then, you know, yeah, that'd be great. But even if, I still maintain what I said earlier, even if we just get a little dangling carrot.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that would be enough, wouldn't it?
Yeah, something that says, come back here, come back to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice, yeah.
I'd just be welcomed back to a haunted place. By the ghosts, not by the,
yeah.
The management, I suppose. But that would be nice to be welcomed back by them too.
Well, they've been great, haven't they?
Yeah,
they really have been great.
Yeah.
They've let us film around when they shut the inn earlier. They let us film around, no questions asked, and they've been fantastic. The food was great.
The food was really good.
I'll have to find out the barman's name as well, so we can give him a shout out because he's been fantastic.
We can just start calling him the barman because he's been really good.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we thought we'd everything inside is really loud. That's why we've come out here. Because inside is really, really loud. As you can probably hear, it's probably been picked up anyway. But we thought we'd come out here and just sit in our old seat that we did the first one of these videos too. So yeah, nothing much more to report than that really. Before we get to the interview with Casey, the barman of the Skirrid Mountain Inn, I just want to say a massive thank you to him. He didn't have to stay behind. He had officially finished his shift. He could have gone. But during the day, we'd asked him if he wouldn't mind saying a few words, just giving us his impressions of the Skirrid as a person who works there and is there almost every single day of the week. He didn't have to stay, but he did. So from Max and myself, thank you ever so much, Casey. We really appreciate your time after you'd officially finished. Also, we met an absolutely lovely family, Sarah, Paul and their son Charles. We got talking, we had a lovely conversation, and then we spent the night then just talking about our experiences in the paranormal field, in the explorer field, and just going over and having a really nice time. It's so lovely to meet fellow paranormal investigators and to hear their experiences in the field. It's also really lovely to see Charles taking such an interest at such a young age in creating videos in the paranormal and starting to forge his own footsteps in that particular field too. He runs his own YouTube channel. You'll find the link in the description. If you wouldn't mind checking that out, that would be fantastic. Thank you ever so much. So just before we get to the interview, we just want to say one final thank you. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Sarah, Paul and Charles. It was fantastic to meet all of you, and I'm sure we'll meet in the not too distant future. Here's the interview with Casey. Hope you enjoy.
How long have you been working at Casey?
I've been working here for just over a year. I started in June of 2024.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced any ghost encounters or anything?
I've had a few strange experiences. There was one night when I was down the cellar and I could hear someone, it almost sounded like they were laughing from behind me. And I thought, because I'd only been here about 2 weeks, I thought it was one of the kitchen lot coming down to take the mick out of the new guy. But no, I turned around, the door was flush and I was in there on my own.
How much do you know about the history of Skirrid Inn?
So, from what I figured out and learned myself, the history dates back to roughly the 1100s. So ever since then, there's always been a Skirrid Inn on these premises. Obviously, some things change, walls knocked down, new ones put up. But we are trying to keep things as original as we can. So things that need changing, like bars, the toilets, they all get done. But as you can probably tell by the stonework, a lot of it is authentic and original.
Yeah. Have you ever been scared working here before?
I've had nights where I've been, closing and on my own, with all the lights off, lit nothing, and it's pitch black, and I do just get that sort of strange feeling, like the hairs on the back of my neck start to stand, and there's an off feeling. Something isn't quite right.
Has any customers reported like any ghost encounters or?
So I had some people staying last week who said that they saw like the visage of a woman in like a white nightgown walking across the landing at early hours of the morning.
Do you think that might have been Fanny Price? Yeah.
I believe it is, because a similar story came from my nan when she stayed here years and years ago, and she said that she was out on the landing early in the morning because she heard footsteps. So when she went out, she saw out of the corner of her eye a woman walking past in a white nightgown. And so when she came down in the morning, she asked the landlord at the time, who else was staying here, and he told her like there was no one else. It was just you and your husband.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? Because I don't think I have any more.
I would like to ask if Casey could tell us a little bit about the history regarding why this used to be a courthouse and the ghosts related to that.
Yeah, so during the 17th century, there's a notion put in place called Roman courts. So the largest building in any town or village would double as the place's court. Because we were the largest building at the time, we became the court for our local area. So Judge Jeffreys, the man who resided over the court, was seen as quite a brutal judge, often with unjust hangings, women, children, some people who were later found innocent. I think the lowball estimate is around 80 people were hung in the stairwell. The highball estimate is 130.
Do you ever think you felt the presence of Judge Jeffreys or?
I felt a presence, a very ominous presence. It was quite strange. It was very recently, actually. It might have been a week or two ago, where I was just sort of sat here on my own, like waiting just to open up the doors in the morning, and I just like felt a wave of just sudden like negativity like wash over me, and it was very, very strange, very out of nowhere. Like it's very out of character for me, just to kind of get hit by that sudden feeling of I just don't want to be here.
I think it's feelings right now actually. Stomach's going weird, my arms going a bit shaky. Something doesn't feel right though. I don't know why. My arms are going cold, my arms are feeling funny. I don't know if it's some energy around there or in this specific place. I don't think there is, because I felt something there before. When I first came here, because I felt something touch my neck when I was just sitting down. And I've been feeling stuff in my neck, like right around here.
A lot of people have reported feeling sort of like a tenseness or almost like a loss of breath, especially around the staircase, because that is where
people got hung.
People used to be hung. They would be thrown over the top of the banister, and they would be hung right down the middle of the staircase.
Yeah. They'd only be hung for like quite a long time, and then.
I say, if they were lucky, it would be instantaneous. They would be hung and the neck would snap straight away. If they weren't lucky, they could be
there for like an hour.
They could be here for a long time.
And they'll like choke, and they couldn't breathe, so they would like die from like starvation and can't like suffocation.
Yeah.
Anyone else have questions?
Casey, before you came to work here, did you know of the legends?
I kind of always grew up hearing about the haunted pub.
Mm-hmm.
Say I live just in the village over, or the town over. My family are from up here, and they used to come up and visit here yearly
Mm-hmm.
to stay the night, come up for birthdays and what have you. And when I was, I think I might have been about 15 years old before I first actually came up here, because I was always just too scared to actually step foot in here. Which is very ironic now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you think the legends, coming from a bit more of a skeptical mind, I suppose, do you suppose the legends of this place are true? Do you think it's worthy of what is said about it?
I think there's a lot of coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many for them to just be coincidences.
Mm.
A lot of stories that come from different people with different backgrounds and from different areas that all share too many similarities.
That's when it gets interesting, right?
Definitely. That's what I find.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Do you have any questions? Or...
I'd like to ask a couple, if that's okay. First of all, Casey, we've heard sort of stories about a lady feeling that somebody tried to drown her in the bath. Do you have some knowledge of that?
So the story goes that it was a little while before I started working here, but a woman was staying in room 1, and she felt, she was in the bath and she went underwater, and she said that she just couldn't get up. She couldn't get her head out from under the water, and she reported feeling almost hands pressing down on her chest and holding her underwater until she almost lost consciousness and then just managed to push through and break free.
Any more? Or...
Yeah, I mean, the ghosts that we've heard of here being potentially the Judge Jeffreys, the hanging of Judge. Fanny Price, who was a former landlady, wasn't she? And she was supposed to have died here.
So Fanny Price was the landlady during the 18th century. She passed away rather young. She was only in her, I think, mid to late 30s. She passed away of tuberculosis, right in the dining room, actually. And a lot of the stories are that you can see her wandering around looking for her daughter, which she left behind when she passed away.
Oh, bless her.
Have you ever stayed in one of the rooms before in this place?
I haven't, no. I tend to steer clear of the rooms. I get a little bit weirded out by them. I'm going to be honest. I say if I spend too much time in any of the rooms, like especially room 2, I don't know what it is, but I start to get a strange feeling, almost like I get goosebumps. I go really cold.
That's what's happening to me like that right now. My stomach's, as soon as, like, through the middle of the interview, when I first mentioned my stomach going funny, that's when the tingles in my stomach started going off. My hands were twitching, quite cold as well. My arms, my legs were kind of moving a bit like that. And I don't know if the energy's making me do anything. But I'm feeling some sort of presence around me right now. But I don't know where it's coming from. And I don't know what it is either.
So that's our room.
Yeah. Sleep tight. not too tight. Hopefully.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions, or do we want to move on? Sit down and
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you very much, Casey. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you.
And with that, the interview was complete and Casey was on his way. He showed me how to lock the back door. I then went downstairs and closed the door to ensure that nobody can get back in. So let's account for people. There was Sarah, Paul, Charles, myself and Max in the downstairs area of the Skirrid. And there was the landlady who was in the building adjoining the Skirrid, but not in the main building or on the floors above where all of us would be occupying. So I got my infrared camera, I popped it onto a bar stool and started recording the restaurant where the apparition of Fanny Price is meant to have been seen. With that, all of us had the scare of our lives, where one of the massive bar umbrellas that were propped up in the porch decided to fall, but with such a noise that all of us jumped out of our skin.
My granddad's mother was a Jeffries, so I thought, oh well, how could I do that? And then I was looking, or what do you think about Jeffries on something stupid like Most Haunted? I thought, oh, Jeffries in Wales. What the actual fuck? No. No.
Jesus Christ. At the time, I was only recording the restaurant area with the infrared camera. I wish in hindsight I'd been recording the bar as well, so we could see exactly what happened to that umbrella. But as soon as the noise went, I picked up my phone, I started recording, and then started to piece together what had happened. Right, so that door seemed to... Did somebody kick it from outside?
Well, that's the only thing that could happen.
That just the door. We were all sat here
Or was
in this
anything
room,
fallen down inside?
Yeah,
and there was a banging, bang, bang, bang.
Oh yes, there we go. Yeah, it's one of the umbrellas. There's an umbrella. Yes. Look, it's there. There's an umbrella there. It's fallen down, and that's what's made the noise.
Go on, go out, I'll pull it.
Go on. Yes, the umbrella. It's absolutely fine. Not that one. That one there, look.
Yeah. Oh, not that one.
That one there.
Alright, and listen. Let go of it.
Yeah, there we go.
Hold on.
Don't let it smash. No.
This will have been what we think we just heard.
Yeah, go on, and I'll grab it and put it. Yeah,
That
that's
was
it.
the noise.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
yeah,
fine.
that's it.
That's
It hit
just
that window.
one of those.
That one hit that window. Okay, that's fine. That's good.
One of the.
That's good.
From outside.
There we go.
Oh, so did we.
Oh, God. Now, let's look at what could have happened. There could have been a slight breeze to come under the door of the Skirrid, as it is quite a holy door, and it could have moved one of the umbrellas and the umbrellas could have fallen down. That is one possibility. My counter to that would be that there wasn't any breeze out there, and you can hear this in our videos where we've been vlogging. Max and myself are vlogging towards the camera, and there was nothing outside. There was a little breeze, but nothing to really move an umbrella of that size. The umbrella may not have been propped up properly, and it could have shifted weight and fallen down. That is probably the theory that I like the most, because that's very doable, very passable, and things that are propped up can shift anyway. Where it gets a little bit strange is the noise that made when that came down. Now, in relation to where my camera was recording into the restaurant, the porch area was directly to the right of that camera. That's why it sounds as loud as it does. But also where we were sat 3 tables into the restaurant, into the bar area of the Skirrid, my God, it was so loud. The other thing that happened was upstairs in our room, one of the cat balls started to flash. Now, it didn't move, which makes this even stranger, because I would have expected, if anything, there to be a little breeze that would come down the boarded chimney. If you remember early in the video, the chimney was boarded but had a little air vent there. When I put my hand there, I couldn't feel a thing, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't at the time. If the ball had moved, I could have said, yeah, do you know what? That definitely is the wind, and as it moved, it started to flash. but the ball doesn't move. It just starts to flash. It flashes for 10 seconds, then turns off. There's nothing before that, and there's nothing after that. I will add this in here with the audio for you to hear. So 2 things happened. I can put the umbrella down to a non-paranormal happening, and the second, the cat ball, I don't know. I think I will leave that for you folks to decide. If you have been to the Skirrid Inn, and if you have your own story, please do tell us in the comments down below. We are itching to find out more about this place, and as such, Max and I will be revisiting very, very shortly indeed.